let us till now one particular point we have discussed that cost is the function of reliability, right? Huh? Huh? Is it true or wrong? What your personal experience is? Whatever you experience in day-to-day life within the span of this college life, what do you think? Cost is the function of reliability? Is it valid for all the cases or not? Hmm? Somebody will ask yes or no. Absolute answer. What do you say? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Let us even we agree that yes, it is related. Hmm. So how come it is related? Or rather, in what way it is related? Let's say, just for my simple understanding, if both are related, then I will draw a curve. This is, let's say, cost function. This is reliability function. So what do you think? That the curve will shoot up like this, or linear knowledge? Because I am a user, okay? So from user perspective, I keep cost function in vertical axis. If you want, you can reverse it. No problem. Okay? Ultimately, both are function of time. This is also a function of time. This is also a function of time. And cost of a product also varies with time. Right? You see 5 years back, now take a little longer stretch, so you will get a very clear idea. Sometimes it may vary impulsively also because of any XYZ reasons, right? But if you take a longer span, let's say 2 years, 5-year horizon, or 10 years, you can easily check that the cost is already changed. Okay? Mostly in the upper side, okay, due to substantial things, due to demand, due to inflation. Okay? So normally you will see that it never goes, or you will never adopt a straight line until unless the authorities, or let's say the governing authorities, has not interfered. Not been interfered. Okay? Is not been interfered. For example, the best example right now we can see the petroleum cost. This is January 2024. Probably you might not have seen a single change. Roughly around, I think, in past 6 months. Maybe 4 months, 5 months, I do not know exact month, but it's a substantial period now. Whatever state cost was, after imposing the state taxes, that's why the state to state price varies on a current situation, and all these petroleum refineries products are not under the GST umbrella. If it is under GST, then it will be a uniform cost across the mainland. Okay, that means in entire territory, not only in mainland, even in your island also that will remain same. Okay, so now the state has a flexibility to impose the tax as per their wish or their plan. So that's why Odisha could be different than West Bengal or Chhattisgarh or Andhra Pradesh or something. Okay, but whatever price has state-wise, it has not been changed from past few months. Why? Because somewhere central government has interfered. Okay? Particularly whatever world scenario we are seeing from past 1.5 years. In fact, not even 6 months. I think it's around close to 8 months or 10 months. The prices is not varied. Okay? Why? Because then if certain laws will be there, then probably the central government has an understanding with those refineries, and then they are going to somewhere settle it. Huh? Okay. On the other hand, if they are already in position to buy the crude at much lesser price, so in any way the refineries, that is the production companies, they are making profit. The only what happened in that case, government has just put the upper cap that you cannot vary further. Okay? Neither upper, lower, it has just stagnated. So right now you can say that it's a constant flat curve. Otherwise what will happen? Do you think that it will adopt this linear curve? In general, what happens? In general, it will happen something like this. Okay? It will vary exponentially, not linear. No. Exponentially. Okay. Increase, particularly if you see the useful life period. So during the useful life period, if you want to stretch the lifespan of a product, okay, and you have a certain measuring parameters, like when we say availability and all these things, these are the kind of quantitative terms. You can further segregate it. If it is your smartphone, then probably the resolution of the picture I am going to take just immediate after buying that particular product or after 2 years should remain same. If not, that means the camera or somewhere sensing performance is deteriorating. So it is experiencing the aging impact. Because of that, still I am able to take a good photos, capture good photos, but probably resolution has varied 5%. And when I say resolution, if it is varying 5%, so it's a huge thing. Okay? Resolution, accuracy, these things are, even if it is varying 5%, so it's a huge degradation. Okay, you will not wait that let the accuracy deteriorate 50%, till then I'll keep on using this product. Probably you may not be in position to use that. Get my point? Okay? So certain parameters allows little more tolerance, certain parameters doesn't allow, they wanted to be stagnant very. Okay? So when you use the terms like accuracy, precision, resolution, depending on your application, okay, not applicable for each and every case, okay, the signal to noise ratio, okay. So in these cases, these are very critical things. Understand? So if you want to attain the same quality even after 2 years, even after 3 years, then you need to pay substantially huge cost. Okay, why? Because the manufacturer has to take the responsibility most of the time that they should be able to, not only able to maintain the critical standard of industry practices during the fabrication of each and every component of the product, but probably also to develop the related software and establishing a firmware, that means the hardware software interface. Okay, all they need to do, probably they must have to do, okay, under the same umbrella. Understand? So that means the involvement of outsourcing component has to be substantially reduced. That is number one. Clear? So if you are the controller of some manufacturing product, okay, or some exercise you are doing, and let's say you are the same person who is, one team is taking care of the camera design and fixing its specification, one person is fixing the processor specification, another guy is fixing the sensor specification, okay, another guy is fixing the substrate and over which entire micro machining and microelectronics you are going to apply to ultimately fabricate that ICs. Okay, probably the number of ICs are involved nowadays in this small set of handset. Okay, you call it smartphone. Okay, then the necessary software development, then the interface, and then what? Required communication protocol, because ultimately you need to exchange the data irrespective of the distance, irrespective of the place, right? And the last foremost thing, the network port. Okay? So that you can exchange the data even if some external hardware interface shall be established tomorrow. Possible? Okay? I can transfer some data by interfacing a particular cord, okay? Type 3, type 2 type kind of cable depending on generation from your smartphone to my pen drive, okay, or to my laptop, correct? So some external contact is also needed, understand? In that case, your protocol should always compatible with those external world protocols, okay? Now within your device, probably you should use the least number of protocols, because if you are entertaining different protocol for different exercise, so each time you will be requiring a converter. Converter, loss of energy, okay, increasing the response time, will increase the response time and the loss of energy, because each time you are converging, okay, from one standard to another standard, it will take some time. You or me may not able to distinguish it, because that will be something around in micros of seconds, but your machine will definitely able to understand, right? So doing that, whenever you will go, this will increase substantially, okay? So in the upper side, let's say if you want to ensure the reliability of product more than 90%, so 90% of the availability of a product during its lifespan, whatever cost is, let's say X, okay, 90% of the reliability, I would say that let's say cost is X amount, okay, X rupee, understand? Now I want to go 92%. What do you think? How much? Take a larger number rather than 92, take it 95. Any idea? Generalize. Because obviously it will vary product to product. Even within the same product, there are different versions, right now, to entertain the different segment of people or consumers. Okay? So everybody has its buying level. You are jumping from 90% to 95%. It's a 5% up in the reliance. What do you think? How much cost will increase? Huh? Much more means how much? 10%, 20%, 50%. 10%? It will go roughly around 2x. Okay? Now beyond 95, the real game starts. Your highest approach is 99, because we don't want to claim 100%. Okay? It has other limitations. So you are jumping from 95 to 99, every 1% near cost will be done. Now 95 to 99, probably the cost will be around 5 to 10 times. Clear? Don't fix that always it is 2 times for each and every product. No. Because these things, if you want to do with steel manufacturer or in Hindalco aluminum manufacturer, then who will buy their product? Not possible. Understand? But if this exercise I will do with this smartphone, then both have their own segment. There is a guy who can right now buy a rupee 1 lakh product, and there is a guy who will buy whose upper cap is 30,000. There is also a guy whose upper limit is probably 10 to 12,000. Okay? Now let the company decide. Let you decide if you are entrepreneur or if you are a manufacturer. Okay? That whether you wanted to entertain all the 3 segments, or you want to strike any 2 segments, or you wanted to strike elite segment, what? Okay? But depending on that, this will vary. This range around 5 to 10 times. That's the point. Okay? It's not that always, X brand will just cost you, charge you just because of its brand. They do, of course, it's a part of their marketing strategy. But here we talk about all the technicalities, and we are doing a quantitative analysis most of the time. Clear? That is one thing. point we will discuss, I will come back to this in some other time. Another point we will discuss that if, do you think that any particular product, once it is available to the consumer, okay, it is sold by the manufacturer, producer. Now during its useful life period, that particular product may experience a fault. Some kind of issues, malfunction during its useful life period. Obviously, if it is with you or me, it is in its useful life period. It is not in the DFR or IFR cycle. Okay, it is somewhere in CFR cycle, constant failure period. Okay, and we are using it to fulfill our desired objectives. Now, during that, it is quite possible that it may experience certain faults, or it may experience certain malfunction. Okay? Or it may experience some kind of, it may require some kind of troubleshooting, particularly the firmware kind of things. Okay, typically we use these terms with digital circuits, digital devices, microprocessors, and so and so. Understand? So in those cases, how do you rectify the fault? How many? There are primarily two ways, two types I will say. Okay? So don't worry, I will come back on this again. Okay. So before we proceed for exercise, what I have given you, so I thought that let me have a clear right. One, we call it fault avoidance. What about it? Fault avoidance. Okay? Being a designer, probably I am designer of a company. So my responsibility is to design that specific product in a way that during its useful life period, we will try our level best to experience any kind of fault during its useful life period. Clear? And obviously, when we say useful life period, your standard maintenance procedure is already a part of that. Okay? Yes. Tomorrow you go, you are going to buy a EV scooter, or probably you are going to buy a IC engine scooter. Okay? Both have their standard operating procedures. Whenever the manufacturer is going to sell you, they will sell you along with a guideline that says that how you need to operate this particular device. What kind of maintenance it is required, what will be the period, and so on. Okay? Now, because you are the owner, so you are the authority. You may follow, you may not follow, but that standard operating procedure is already built. Okay? So that is already there. So along with that, considering that, there are two possible types. One is fault avoidance and one is fault avoid कर सकते हो नहीं तो क्या करोगे बताओ? हैं? Either you can avoid the fault or हैं? क्या करोगे? Tolerance. Tolerate करते हो ना? रूममेट को? हैं? रोज रोज वही शक्ल देखो, रूम जाओ वापस, है ना? ओके? टुडे you had a fun in 10th and 11th class. It was a wonderful experience. Right? This is nice. He always had a fun with my class. Okay? What kind of fun I will not ask. Whatever. So you had a very wonderful experience. अभी वापस गया हॉस्टल में, देयर इज नो फर्दर क्लास, वही फिर वही बोरिंग इंसान है ना, वही शकल नहीं, क्या करेगा, उसके पास बेचारे के पास पैसा नहीं है, तो प्लास्टिक सर्जरी वर्जरी करा देता था जस्ट टू मेक यू हैप्पी हैं, और सम काइंड ऑफ मैजिक लाइक दिस चेंज्ड, देन अगेन दिस कम बैक. ओके, सो व्हाट यू विल डू, ईदर यू कैन अवॉइड or you tolerate. Now as name says, which one is good? Think about it. Avoid will not. So which one will be a costlier affair? So two important issues we have discussed. One is this: cost is the reliability is a function of cost. Otherwise, also I can say. But because I am a user, so standard approach is that cost is a function of reliability. Okay? So purposely we have taken in y-axis this because I am very cautious for this. I am getting same quality product. नहीं, ओके अभी ऑफर का सीजन चल रहा है ना, फ्लैट 50% ऑफ, है ना, फील हैप्पी नहीं है, पता चला यू स्पेंड लिटिल मोर विद दोज हैप्पीनेस, है ना, दैट इज एग्जैक्टली व्हाट द मैन्युफैक्चरर वांट, सेलर वांट, ओके, सो दैट यू विल बाय मोर. So first of all, their quantity will increase. If the quantity is increasing substantially, so the operating cost will automatically reduce. Okay? Do you think that still they are in loss? No. Okay? It is another, not only a marketing gimmick, it is another quantitative analysis, not qualitative. It's a quantitative analysis. They do it for a cycle, maybe for a season of 6 months, depending on geographical area also. Okay? The validity of offer in Odisha and the validity of offer in Delhi of the same manufacturer during the same time shall be different. Clear? Shall be different. Yes or no? होता है ऐसा? नहीं हैं? अरे भाई पार्टिसिपेट यार, इट्स रिलायबिलिटी क्लास है. योर रिएक्शन शुड बी हाईली रिलायबल टू स्कोर वेरी हाई ना.
So in online websites like Flipkart and Amazon, all in different regions, they say
of course they might have adopted some different strategy. Probably I am not master in business management, but probably one small experience I had like that. You want to take a product X, okay, you go refer to their online store and you refer to their outlets. You may not get exactly 100% same product at the same cost. You forget about the XYZ. Okay, what you talk about company, they are the they are providing a platform. So of course it will be. Then what happened? They had their own what we call offers. Okay. So the entire offers gimmick is that somehow you push hard consumers to buy more, so that their operating cost everywhere at each and every segment. One who is providing the platform, one who is manufacturing the product, in both the case will reduce. Ultimately, if operating cost they can reduce, they are proportionally increasing the profits. That is also exponential, not linear. Okay, so which one you think that good? Avoidance is good. हैं? अब अवॉइड करने के लिए क्या करो? How can you show? Your motto is that I want the product, one particular product. So if it is a kind of brand who is probably offering the single quality product, there is no versions, means not the product versions I am saying, there is no variation here. If they are targeting 99 means 99. They are very specific, probably their bandwidth is very narrow. So therefore they may not be also in position to offer you different versions of the product, because if one is say targeting 95 to 99, so probably they can introduce you two products. One is targeting around one is targeting around 90 to 99%. Now they may offer you probably 3 or 4 different versions of the product. Obviously 90% one will be much cheaper as compared to the 99. Okay, and relatively it will be also cheaper as compared to 95. That's for sure. That's for sure. Okay, it doesn't matter you buy one product, you buy 100 products, but that ratios will be nearly remain same. Take. So how can you avoid it? Ensuring the highest amount of reliability. Yes, but we are not claiming 100%. Huh? That's why they have provided service outlet also. Na? In case if some customer will face some problem and that problem is really a technical problem. Now it's not the customer's mistake. Another case. There was not a technical problem, there was the consumer's fault, but somehow he or she is not experiencing getting a good feeling with that product. Huh? And in that position, probably you are ready to pay that cost, but you want to enhance, get back that particular quality for what you buy it originally. Right? Both are cases are possible. So they provided you a service outlet and all. Fine. So ultimately to avoid that, key company want to avoid that, want to ensure that nearly its useful life period, my consumer should not require to go or visit its service outlet ever. You might have seen some companies within the same territory of Odisha state, they might have probably because of certain business regulations imposed by the central government or state government, okay, because these are the policies matters, remember, it is beyond the control of sometimes the companies also, okay, because then the authority is deciding, who the public authority is deciding. So in our case it is the state government is deciding, okay. So they might have to open one service outlet or one contact point within the entire state territory. Now it can be any location, it can be only Sambalpur, it can be only Bhubaneswar, it can be only Rourkela, maybe all the three locations, depend. Okay? But then there is a company Y who knows that I am going to provide the product at around 90 to 92% reliability. Are they going to disclose it? No. करेंगे तो खरीदोगे, will you buy? You will never buy. So these are our quantitative analysis backend. Okay, what you are knowing now, clear? But they know that the complaint will come. Okay, I buy it today. The warranty period is 12 months. They know very well, because it's mathematically calculated that from 13 months to 18 months onwards, you will come to show your beautiful face, and for that we had 2 guys appointed there to entertain you. Okay, understand? So वैसा कर लो. So what I need to do? Highest possible reliability. Understand? Na? Then only I can avoid. Now if I am ensuring the highest amount of reliability, what is the problem? Okay? So mostly this issue is costly affairs. Possible, but compromising the cost. And when I say compromising the cost, that means obviously it's a user. Okay? If I say compromising the reliability, then it is the manufacturer or producer's hand. When you are compromising with the cost, so ultimately the bearer has to take care of it. Okay? Now another case is that, let's say, after certain stages, okay, we will take 2 examples. Let us take that someone among of you, for example, I will take the example of Kartikeshwar. He wanted to buy a very good smartphone, very high quality smartphone. ठीक है ना, इसके पॉकेट में 2 लाख रुपीज़ हैं, बोला just show me. Visited to outlet of company X, बोला सर रेंज क्या है आपका, you just show me your best product. ठीक है, okay, seeing him very young, he has shown his around 80,000 to 1 lakh rupee product with some reserve mind. पता नहीं लेगा नहीं लेगा. He said that no, show me even better. ठीक, वो अभी थोड़ा 1.5 पे जाएगा. बोले ये सब क्या दिखा रहे हो तुम? I said that show me good, otherwise I am leaving. No sir. Then they say he is actually our premium customer, supposed to be a premium customer. अभी वो 2 lakhs वाला प्रोडक्ट उसको दिखाएगा, है ना, प्रोबेबली 240 वाला दिखाएगा. सो दैट नाउ कार्तिकेश्वर विल लिटिल स्ट्रेच हिमसेल्फ टू बाय 240. 2 तो ऑलरेडी पॉकेट में था, 40 कार्ड वार्ड से कहीं से निकल जाएगा, ठीक है? और नहीं तो रूममेट्स कब काम आएंगे, 10 का कंट्रीब्यूशन होगा नहीं. सो समहाउ मेक श्योर 2.2 आया. अभी क्या है कि बिकॉज ही इज़ अ प्रीमियम कस्टमर, तो अभी कंपनी भी अपना प्रीमियम सर्विस देगा. बोला सर यू आर आवर स्पेशल क्लाइंट, सो वी आर गिविंग यू डिस्काउंट ऑफ 10%, है ना. तो नॉर्मली एलिट लोग कभी भी डिस्काउंट का डिमांड नहीं करते, वो आपके हमारे जैसे नहीं होते, ठीक है. बट वहाँ पे कंपनी क्या करेगा, 10% देगी. कार्तिकेश्वर विल फील आई मीन लाइक ऑन अ हेवन दैट आई बाय द मार्केट्स मोर बेस्ट प्रोडक्ट एंड दैट टू बेट 10% लोअर, ठीक है ना. हॉस्टल आकर के तुम लोग को पार्टी वार्टी को देना है, ठीक है. सो ही बाय, कॉस्ट इज नॉट अ मैटर फॉर हिम, ठीक. Now let me take another example. Take a industry where probably you are going to process the hydrogen. अभी hydrogen is a buzzword in your generation, नहीं? Okay? Earlier people feeling like that when 15 years back when I talk about hydrogen, so within the department itself when I do my presentation during the Ph.D, so my professors scared, not all professors, some people scared like something like that. अभी blast हो जाएगा, अभी सब खत्म हो जाएगा. हाइड्रोजन नहीं है, इन योर एटमोस्फेयर यू हैव हाइड्रोजन, ब्लास्ट तो नहीं हो रहा है. प्रॉब्लम इज योर एनटीपी, यू आर नॉट मेंटेनिंग, यू आर नॉट एबल टू प्रिजर्व इन एनटीपी, दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम, बिकॉज यू आर स्टोरिंग इन लिक्विड फॉर्म, है ना. देन देयरफॉर यू इट हैज टू बी हाईली प्रेशराइज्ड. सो हाईली प्रेशराइज्ड विद द सेम टेम्परेचर और कांस्टेंट प्रेशर with high temperature, very high temperature, or probably impulsive change in pressure along with impulsive change in temperature causes a impact of blast or some kind of explosion. Take all that. So anyway, so the company's job is to produce the process hydrogen. Clear? Okay? अब उस हाइड्रोजन प्रोसेस हाइड्रोजन को लेकर के XYZ कंज्यूमर्स क्या करेंगे, इट इज नॉन ऑफ इट्स हेडेक. So obviously it requires an assembly process line, correct? अभी जो तुम valves यूज करोगे वहाँ पे, वो कौन सा valve यूज करोगे? Not a normal valve, because it's a very potent component, okay? Unlike even nitrogen, ऐसा नहीं कि नाइट्रोजन प्लांट में एक्सप्लोजन नहीं होगा, but after explosion due to nitrogen, okay, due to nitrogen your life may not damage. हाँ, ब्लास्ट होने के बाद वो जो फिजिकल कंपोनेंट्स एट द वेलोसिटी ऑफ 900 मीटर पर सेकेंड की स्पीड से जब स्प्रेड होगा, है ना, वो अगर आ गया तो फिर तो देन द गॉड नोस. बट ड्यू टू नाइट्रोजन यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू लूज योर लाइफ बिकॉज इट्स इनर्ट गैस, है ना. इज इट एप्लीकेबल फॉर हाइड्रोजन? नो. सो यू कैन नॉट यूज द सेम valve, you cannot use the same sensor. Understand? So typically we called it hydrogen valve, hydrogen sensors. Okay, that doesn't mean the entire technology is changed. We take care of some special things, correct? So abhi in that application, considering the sensitiveness during the production and also to ensure the safe supply, है ना. जिस कंटेनर में तुम उसको सप्लाई करोगे, you also want to ensure that there should not be any leakage beyond the standard industry standard and practices guidelines, because remember you have stored the gas in pressurized environment. You cannot say that the leakage is 0% per year. That's not at all possible. Understand? But can I ensure that 0.05% per year? 0.05% I say, not 0.05%. So that means unit is 0.005. 5 into 10 raised to minus 3. At this rate, per month or per year, whatever your unit is, it will leak. Again depends on that joint, okay, because you stored in container, there is a valve connected with it that ensure its supply to the external unit. So now wherever the contact point is, there is a probability of leakage. Okay, it's applicable for any cases, correct? Now in those cases, while your manufacturer is producing this process gas, what do you think? Do they target this? Do they target this? Never. Because it itself is very sensitive application. Okay? So whenever you are going to produce these kind of products, highly sensitive product, and also to ensure it's a safe uses by their customer, by their end users during its entire life cycle, then the only criteria is the highest reliability, roughly 99.9%. Not 99, 99.99998%. Okay? Theoretically, even you can say it's 100%. It will not fail, means not fail. Okay? Now for that, probably. So remember, right? Now we have two things I said. One, that when you will supply that sensitive product to your customers. Another, when you are producing, you are ensuring your assembly line, your process line is going to produce it without fail or without facing any problem. Now, there are certain lines, there are the certain segments during the process, those are highly critical. Critical means I have to ensure the 100% availability of that particular segment of that particular line when I am taking some raw material. So this raw material is a hydrogen. कहाँ से एक्सट्रैक्ट करोगे? Using some man-made engineering. ठीक है? Source could be anything, but you will use some man-made engineering. Okay? Now once you involve some man-hour, some man-made engineering component, now it's not free. Will it free? No. Air is free. Air is free. In a hospital, when we need, we use those oxygens. Do you think that oxygen is free? Why? Extract तो किया था atmosphere से. Forget about hydrogen. क्या हुआ? You have seen that small plant, है ना? हैं? Medical वाले हैं बेचारे उसको plant बोलते हैं. वो तो factory भी नहीं. But anyway, that's all. There is a, you might have seen certain tanks, है ना? Probably sometimes you might have seen the similar kind of two tanks. Anybody have seen? Exactly same tank, two. है ना? Why two? Why not one tank? So you want to ensure the supply of 50 liters of processed oxygen. So in terms of volumetric storage, I am saying 50 liters. ठीक है? Okay? आप उसको kg मीटर क्यूबिक और ग्राम मीटर क्यूबिक में भी कन्वर्ट कर सकते हो in terms of gaseous terms. ठीक? Now why you are doing that exercise? Any idea? While we commission that plant, that oxygen plant within your medical facilities, I mean looking like two tanks, थोड़ा अच्छा लगेगा. एक टैंक रखोगे तो वो बेचारा अपने आप को अलोन फील करेगा. Is it something like that? हैं? तुम तो करके आ जाओ, उसको अलोननेस फील होगा. Two tanks रहेंगे तो they can talk with each other, बोर नहीं होगा. कुछ ऐसा है? हैं? ये बड़ा किसी अच्छी नहीं ना? तो two tanks क्यों लगाते हैं? Say this is the dotted line. This side your patients are here. ठीक है ना? Now here is a ICU unit. ठीक है? Okay? Here nowadays they even use another term IIC. Term is there. Extremely critical. It is itself a critical stage. उसमें उन्होंने दो कैटेगरी कर दिया. Here there is another line, certain cabins are there. है ना? Here there is a certain amount. So depending on cost and the kind of critical it is. Okay? Now remember, here is your plant, oxygen plant. ठीक है? Now it has to supply to all the channels. Yes, sir. Do you think that it will follow 4 channels right from the beginning? Right? Needed? Let's say this IICU is just next to the ICU unit. Getting my point? Okay? Now everything has a cost. Now will you follow one line for here from the starting point processing plant, another line from here to here, or probably you will ensure another valve here and fix one line here, fix another line here. Which one is more preferable? Second one, no? Why? Installation cost is less. You are entertaining lesser number of components. So involvement of lesser number of components, can it ensure the lesser probability of failure? जितना ज़्यादा component involve करोगे, the probability of failure of each and every component will be there. If the less number of components are participating, probability of system failure will be less. Possible? Now here I am saying system failure, because this is a system. It's not a one component. ठीक है? Or like this smartphone, there is a specific owner who can directly control it. Okay? So he or she is the sole authority. But what about this case? Understand? So there are the multiple entities to be entertained at the same time by the one plant. Getting my point? So first and foremost thing I will do, considering this critical situation, probably here I may compromise during the supply stage. But supply करने के लिए आपको क्या चाहिए? You have to produce, no? You have to ensure the production of that processed or pure oxygen all the time, or 2 hours less करने से चलेगा? 22 hours out of 24 hours available रहेगा. Right? Will you buy? No. 24 means 24. Right now? So what we will do? I'll take tank A, I'll take tank B. Both have the same capability, same specification. One will be in active, कुछ याद आ रहा है? And one will be in standby. Understand? One will be in standby. Both are connected to the same line. ठीक है? So it's something like that. You have two laptops. You are doing some critical simulations. Understand? So तुम्हारा laptop में उतनी capacity नहीं है. So you take your mainframe computer, परम 10,000. You treated it as a server, है ना? Huge memory हो गया ना? अभी मेरे पास प्रोसेसिंग का प्रॉब्लम नहीं रहेगा. ठीक है? They have a higher processing capability also, higher storage capability also. Okay? So what my laptop can do in 3 days, probably that mainframe computer will be able to finish the job within few hours, maybe 10 hours, 12 hours, depending on the algorithm and its length. Understand? Okay? Now if there is a no memory problem and no processing speed problem, what else is remaining? Its availability. Its availability. Okay? If the mainframe computer's reliability is 99.9%, then one computer is fine, or one laptop is fine for the lower segment one. I do a small simulation. Okay? But my simulation is so critical that I do not want that my system should fail. Even my simulation, my experiment should fail until unless it is over. Then what should I need to do? Probably I will run 2 laptops or 2 computers or 2 mainframe systems. Okay? I will load the same algorithm in both the case. I will load the same code. Okay? Understand? I will keep one in standby, one in active mode. If this system fails, so with no time, the system B should take over. Because these guys in anyway need oxygen. It doesn't matter plant tank A supplies it to tank B. Is it better? Probably that staff, that service staff, that medical staff doesn't even know it. कहाँ से आ? It has to be provided, right? Now, during this line, अगर if this line is common up to certain distance, you are going to entertain 4 sections. Understand? 4 different sections. And if this line is common up to certain distance, है ना? क्यों common रखा था हमने? Not only to reduce cost, but because I am establishing a system, it's a married of number of different kind of components. So the nature of every component is different. Maintenance cycle of every component is different. Reliability of each and every component is different. And these all together has established a system with a different rate of availability or reliability. Are you getting my point? So in that case, if I can plan my P&I diagram in such a way that it should require the least number of components to be involved for the successful execution, then in one hand I am reducing the proportional amount of failure rate. Number one. ठीक है, ऑब्वियसली लेसर नंबर ऑफ कंपोनेंट्स विल डेफिनेटली इम्पैक्ट द कॉस्ट, आपका कॉस्ट रिड्यूस हो जाएगा. ठीक है, बड़ा एक चैलेंज आ गया तुम्हारे सामने. फॉर दिस कॉमन लाइन देयर इज ओनली वन सप्लाई. आर यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? ओके, एंड योर ऑपरेशन इज वेरी क्रिटिकल. अभी क्या करोगे? If something happened with this point, interface point, this one is process point, this one is supply line, this one is user, right now? So during the supply stage, if some problem may occur during this joint interface or may occur during this joint, then what you will do? Possible or not? Possible, na? है ना? Normally with this pipe, rather than pipe, we call it vessel. Okay, sometimes these are not the simple pipe, simple water pipe what you see, है ना? You have seen the diagram of your nervous system, your nerves. Is it like a pipe? No, it's like a one pipe within the another pipe, cylinders, है ना? And then there is some semi-solid liquids, है ना? Those acts as an insulator to establish no contact with the outside world within the fluid that is passing through the nervous system. Blood or anything XYZ. Understand? Okay? So these pipes are constructed in that way. It's like a nerves. Okay? So probably nothing will happen here most of the time, but there is a probability that during the contact point there is a high probability of failure. But anyway, तुम्हारा काम तो नहीं हुआ. You wanted to ensure 24 cross availability. अभी होगा क्या? नहीं होगा ना? So in such case what will do? Now here you provide a redundancy. ठीक है? So during the critical stage, you provide a redundancy. Only for those critical stage. There is a high probability that in this design that valves can fail. ठीक है? Understand? So controller has given certain decisions ना. अभी follow किसको करना है? Valve को. Because conversion of energy कौन करेगा? Valve करेगा ना, electrical to non-electrical. अभी तुमको पता है कि that is a very critical joint. है ना? There are different kind of bones in our body. Every bone is equally strong? No. Every joint is equally good? No. There are weak joint also, there are tough joints also. है ना? So weak joint का क्या करते हैं? You take a special care ना. ठीक है? So अभी in that case if that valve is very critical तो क्या करोगे? Don't provide any redundancy in this supply line. ठीक है? Another thing you can do, take the redundancy here. To establishing a, because remember that nervous system is not of few centimeters, they are tens or hundred of meters long. There is one unit that side, one unit that side, one unit that side. Look at the hospital and then see that piping line, sometimes in kilometers. Understand? So rather than mounting a redundancy in entire piping supply, can I provide a redundancy here and here only and use a common pipeline? Common nervous system. So this will remain one, but I will add one redundancy here and I will add one redundancy here. So if one valve fail, it will automatically reroute like this. ठीक है ना? अभी service is not interrupted. Now engineer will get a time to have a proper maintenance of this line. One it is maintained, that is again inactive. चलेगा काम, है ना? So better even adopting previous method you do this. Okay? So identify the weaker zone of the system. Okay? Without involving which the system will not run or not ensure its 100% availability. When I say 100%, treat it mathematically 99%. ठीक है? So provide a redundancy only during those stages. That will ensure the availability of system 24/7. ठीक है? Now cost increase हुआ, but providing a redundancy of a valve will, of course, you will appreciate much cheaper than providing a redundancy of entire supply line. समझ रहे हो? बिकॉज सप्लाई लाइन का अगर तुम रिडंडेंसी दोगे तब भी तो वैल्यू देना पड़ेगा ना, कि उसके बिना काम हो जाएगा। हवा नहीं ना, इन एनी वे विल एस्टैब्लिश सम जॉइंट ना, ठीक है. So better is that touch the only weaker tube. Getting my point? Okay. अभी assume a last scenario. How much? Do we have time? No. Assume a last scenario that because of any reason, let the usage of that processed oxygen has become zero. I'm just hypothetically taking. ठीक है? Then what do you do? Sometimes you use the term bypass line. You bypass something. क्यों करते हो? You go in hydropower plant. Whenever there is a no power generation, power generation zero होता है क्या? नहीं होता. Turbine is always, prime mover is always on. Lower rate, higher rate, that may varies. ठीक है? You might always seen that there are certain gates. Along with that, there is another bypass line. If at all experience that all the gate will face the same problem, then what will happen? Dam तो जाएगा ना काम से. So whenever they construct, you see the design that they always provide a bypass line. Okay? They will simply divert the flow of water through that bypass line without generating the power. Understand? ठीक है? So we'll do our calculations. We will do in the next class. Okay?